Hey everyone! I wanted to make a video for those of you who are starting to play the violin. Most of my students start off on a blue foam violin, and then once we've mastered a couple different things, then we move on to the real violin, which is very exciting. And I've had a lot of parents ask me what needs to happen before we get there and when will it happen. So I wanted to make a video to go over the 5 points that I want to make sure the student has mastered before we get to move on to the real violin, in order to make the process really easy and flow nicely. I don't start someone on the real violin before they're ready, because they will very much dislike how hard it is if they are not totally prepared for it. They'll be discouraged, they won't enjoy the process. However, if we get all the steps down and we set the stage correctly, then all we have left to do is perform once we get there. It's much easier to have a deflated elbow when we're doing the circle bow exercise than it is to have it when we're playing on the real violin. Or it's a lot easier to have a bent pinky when we're doing pinky taps than when we're playing on our violin. It's a lot easier to hold the violin with just our head when that's all we have to think about versus when we're starting to play the songs there. So it's just a lot easier to do these functional things when we do one piece at a time, like one little chunk at a time. So that's why we start off that way. So on and so forth. We are all very excited to start playing. Like, we want that to happen right away, and I totally get that, but I do ask you to trust my judgment of when the right moment is. I certainly in the past have moved students on too quickly, and it generally resulted in either tears, frustration, a complete halt in progress, or even like worse, backtracking because we weren't ready. And so then there was a lot of remedial teaching happening then. It's better to start slowly, or to go slowly and surely, and then add the skills that we can master before moving on too quickly and the whole foundation crumbling. As you have probably noticed by now, I really try to set the stage and build the foundational things first so that we get all those things down and we do it in a fun way and do games and stuff like that that we feel like we have control over and we can really do before we put it all on the violin, so that it's just a really exciting and easy and fluid process. So, rant over. The 5 things that we want to master before we start playing are bendy wrist concept down. I hope this isn't backwards. I think it is. Okay, bendy wrist concept down, violin arm, not runner's arm, which we'll talk about all these points after. Understand the lanes on the highway. Deflated elbow. Perfect play position. And my favorite, perfect bow hold. So I want to go over each of these points and just show you, maybe rattle off a list of things you can do in each of those things, in each of those categories, and show you what it should look like. Because sometimes I know I may write down or send you directions of things of what to do, but it's not pictures, it's not video. So I thought this would be a helpful tool. I'll hold up the picture of what I'm about to cover each time I have it. So if your child like has a perfect bow hold and that's not something we're working on, you can just skip past that part there. Generally, I feel like most kids have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 things that they really need to work on, but 1 or 2 come really easy to them, or 3 even come really easy to them. So feel free to skip forward if you need to, but we'll just go in the order that I held them up. So the first one is the bendy wrist concept. So there are 4 exercises for this one. One is coin elevators. I don't have a coin on me right now, but you put the coin here, and then you want your, let's see, let me just move this up, see everything. You put the coin on your hand here, and then you want it to come all the way down. You're bending at the bottom, and then come all the way up here. And the idea with this is that our elbow stays down the whole time. So like this. So we don't want this. This is cheating. And then the idea is that the coin doesn't fall off as you do this. Slow down if it starts to do that. Yeah. Okay, so coin elevators is one for the bendy wrist concept here. If we were to keep a straight wrist, then the elbow would be up like that, and we don't want that. The next one is open the gate. So this one's good because we work on the bow hold with this one too. But so we have a deflated elbow here. We're going to be bending our wrist, and we do open the gate in the morning. The children have to play. Close the gate in the morning. The children have to stay. Open the gate in the evening. The children have to go. Close the gate in the evening. This is how we move the bow. Very important that this moves in a straight line, that it doesn't go like this. And that brings me to the violin and runner's arm thing. When we run like this. So that's runner's arm. And then violinists bow like this. We want violin arm, because see how that keeps it nice and straight? We do not want runner's arm because that's going to go all over the place. This is easier to do. This is what your child will probably do to start. When we do that on the violin, doesn't sound so great. When we do violin arm, it's the difference of whether I'm bending my wrist or not. If I do not bend my wrist, if I do bend my wrist. Okay, and then the next one is play rhythms on your shoulder. So again, you put the bow on the left shoulder, Mississippi hot dog, peanut butter, alligator, so on and so forth. We're bending our wrist. You can always put an elbow up against the child's, you can put your hand up against the child's elbow so that it doesn't move and go back like that. They could do it up against a wall, so they're up against a wall so it won't allow the elbow to go back. Yeah, you can try it by you moving the bow, them moving the bow, back and forth. And then the other thing is if you do have the blue violin, this one the bridge fell off, but yours should have a bridge on it. You can play it on the blue violin too. The child can play it on the blue violin too. It should have a bridge where it keeps it right in place too, so it keeps it in like lane 2, which is really nice too. But that should keep the elbow there and the bendy wrist happening there. So that's the bendy wrist concept down, violin arm versus runner's arm. That part, yeah, okay. Next thing, I think the next one I held up was the understand lanes on highway. So this one's pretty easy to grasp, but this is lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, lane 4. Lane 1, bad. Lane 2, good. Lane 3, good. Lane 4, bad. Okay, so just them knowing the difference between the lanes and which ones are good and which ones are bad. We want to be in lane 2. Deflated elbow. For this one, we want to think about our elbow being, we want our elbow to be deflated like this. So the exercises for this are circle bows, smiles, pull and push open the door, elevators, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, bouncing ball, swings, only from the elbow up, so like forearm and up, and then wet laundry, where you relax the arm like that. We do not want circle bows, smiles, bouncing ball, like that. We want it to be deflated the whole time. Think about a fat parrot sitting on your shoulder, weighing you down. You can also, I'm a big fan of just like drawing something on your wrist and then asking the child to make it so that you can see their wrist the whole time. If they're doing that, you won't be able to. If you do that, you will. Okay, next is perfect play position. Oh, and I forgot to say with the deflated elbow thing, if it's too hard for them to do it with the bow, do it with a marker. Just hold a fist like that and see if they can do the motions, seeing the wrist like that. Okay, perfect play position. Hold violin with just head. Make sure you're holding with your jawbone there, not your chin, so like that. Go between rest and play position, magic X slides, high dot taps, feet, Statue of Liberty, hat on your shoulder, like that. Hold violin, listen to a song, move back and forth 5 times. Magic X slides in play position. You want the umbrella fingers over the G string if you can. You want a space for like a baby lion, baby puppy, something like that to be in here. Short and straight thumb. It's okay if there's a little bend, but not a big bend, like that. And a straight wrist. I have another video that's called Good Left Hand Shapes. You can watch that one if you want more ideas on exactly how the left hand should look. Lift, lift, drops. Lift, lift, drop. You can tap your thumb too. Finger taps on the tapes. Again, straight wrist, space in here, short, straight thumb. Umbrella fingers, not squeezing. That's the most important part. Finger taps on the shoulder. Ant song. Okay, I think that's about that there. And then last is perfect bow hold. Okay. Bent pinky, about above the dot, not on the adjuster screw. Bent pinky, bump here, bump there. Bent thumb on the silver bit. Bent thumb, bent pinky. These guys are just relaxed. They're sleepy. They're not propped up. They're not up like here. They're just relaxed. And eyebrow shaped first finger. Not like this, not like that. Just like that. So for the, oh, and then a space here. You don't want to hold it like that. It's going to be impossible. You also don't want to hold it like that. Just like this. Okay. Up like a rocket. Wheels on the bus. Stir the soup. Pinky taps, finger flops. Bumper thumbs, where you touch different parts with your bumpy thumb. Find the tip, where they close their eyes and find the tip of the bow. Quick draw, where they start in rest position and move it into a bow hold. Bear tree, where you climb up the side like this with a bear and then try to knock it over, but their bent thumb will not let you. Wipers. And then bow thief, where they close their eyes, hold their bow just so gently, and then you take it out of their hand, it should come right out of their hand. We want sleepy fingers. Okay, so those are the 5 main points. Probably there's 1 or 2 that your child is struggling with and we need to master before we move on to playing the violin. So I would work on those specific points and all those things in there and refer to this video and the different, just the different examples of how to hold things and what to do. Any questions? Of course, call, email, text me. But I hope that this is helpful for you. All right, thank you.